That is discipline. Selfish.
No joke. We're legitimate.
Fucking do that, then do it. Do it 100%, because I'm trying to.
We recognize that we are limitless.
You gotta be a champion to become a champion, right? Winning is a habit because we create habits that lead to good execution and success.
It's Monday, and that means it's time for the best darn live paintball podcast in the world on Mondays, The Coach's Show, your source for a high-level insight into the sport of paintball. It's also the show where we have better microphones than MLPB's president, Tom Cole. I'm Coach Mike Bianca with San Diego Dynasty, and with me, as always, is my friend and coach of Red Legion, Coach Ryan Gray. This past weekend saw one of the greatest opportunities for the paintball community to learn from some of the best, to really hone in and improve their game. BKi Summer Camp came to a close yesterday afternoon after 5, not 4, but 5 intense days of training. Summer Camp is a full-on immersive experience where you quite literally get training from pros such as Ryan Greenspan, Kyle Spica, Nick Slowiak, Connor Kelly, Kyle Berry, and Joe Barrett. And tonight, we're going to talk to one of those professionals. It was going to be 2, but unfortunately, airline travel as of late has become less than convenient, causing one of our planned guests to have to take a rain check. Joe Barrett will be unable to join us tonight. But that's okay, because we have Master Kyle Berry joining us tonight, and we will talk about what makes the coaching, the training, and the experience of BKi Camp so worth it. In other words, we're going to dive into the why of it all. All right. Tonight's show is brought to you by Maxt Sportswear, the leader in custom paintball gear. Give Maxt a call. I'm positive they will have a package that works for you and your team. And BKi Paintball, bringing you the best knowledge in paintball on and off the field. Don't forget to sign up for the coaches clinic that Ryan and I will be hosting at the Major League Paintball's Lone Star Major in Garland, Texas on September 11th from 10 a.m. to noon. It will be at the Meet Me at the 50 beverage tent. We'll be discussing overall game management, how to run team meetings, how to analyze data, line calling, play calling, clock management, a lot more, right? Be looking for information tomorrow on all of your social media outlets on how to sign up for that. Hey, man, I'm looking forward to speaking with Kyle tonight. He is a friend. He is one of my players, and he's an impressive coach in his own right. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Last time we had Kyle on, talked a lot about kind of his training methodologies and, even outside of BKi. Kyle, and I kind of said this to he and to Joe when I was sending them the information for the show, like both of them, in my opinion, kind of walk the walk of what a professional player should be doing and look like. And, the way that they kind of both give back in the clinics and just kind of the nurturing of the next generation. Either one of these guys and both of them do it really, really well. So really excited to have Kyle on and talk about BKi Summer Camp. I think there's some myths about the summer camp, kind of like there is with the combine, that people have this, they have this idea and this vision that it's only for kids, because you hear something like summer camp, right? And you think kid, right? But the reality is it's kind of open to everybody, mixed age groups. There's, I think, at the last one, and Kyle will be able to correct us, but 10, 12, 13 years old, all the way up to like guys in their 30s. So really exciting opportunity to dive into the summer camp content and kind of how each day works and sort of what they're doing as the professors, and then what they're looking for from the kids. So from the attendees. So really excited about this one.
Yeah, you make some excellent points, right? It's not just for kids. This is a paintball camp, right? And to your point, I think summer camp throws some people off, and so they might not give it the attention it should. The simple fact is that it's for anyone from D5 all the way up. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your experience. Come and experience. And I'm also really excited. I'm envious, actually, because the idea, they had 2 new professors this year, right? Connor Kelly joined this year, and Joe Barrett. And you're absolutely right about Kyle and Joe. I get to be around these guys. I get to coach these guys. In a lot of ways, they coach me, right? I mean, why wouldn't I lean on such talented? Because they are so smart when it comes to this. They see the field, right? They're out there on the field, they're playing it, and they're both so articulate when it comes to explaining gameplay. They're wonderful at telling you the who, what, where, when, and why. And they do a good job of breaking those things down. Joe, and they're both so energetic about it, right? Like you said, they're just kids in a candy store when they get a chance to talk about something they love, and they absolutely love this sport.
Yeah. So before we jump into the BKi stuff, you and I talked a little bit about this on our last show. We kind of hinted, there were some things going on with AC Diesel, and Kyle Spickett had already come out and said, hey, I'm no longer with the team. And then without releasing his release, Alex Goldman, comes out, just about 5 days later and has joined Tampa Bay Damage.
Tampa Bay Damage has a roster of 12 now, I believe.
They just continue to have, they have one injury, right?
That's right.
And he's done for the rest of the year.
That's right.
And then, they've got a bench player who doesn't really get a lot of opportunity. And so really, if you look at guys who can really help that team, they've got 10. They've got 10, right?
Okay.
I mean, I would continue to call it just a mass of riches, that Skinny Kevin and Joey have to get to deal with over there. If you go down the list of names on that roster, pick one that's the weak link.
Good luck.
Yeah, pick one. It's like they're just unbelievably talented. I do think Skinny is going to have his hands full trying to put all of that together, right? I think maybe we saw a little bit of those challenges at the last event with Damage not making the cut, a few kind of poor tempo decisions, and I don't know that that's trying to mesh it, if that makes sense, that created those challenges. But now they definitely have. I mean, if you think about a lot to handle, Keith Brown followed by Alex Goldman going into the Snake, if they decide to play them together as the 1 and the 2, and even flip them back and forth with Mouse going in first and Keith coming in after. I mean, any way you look at it, that's a handful.
100%, right? I mean, it is a who's who of it's a murderer's row of killers on that team. And I'm not so sure. Was it cohesion? I'm not sure it was cohesion. I look at Joey and the kind of way he runs things, the way Kevin runs things, and all of those guys are consummate professionals, at that point. And I just feel I'm not so sure it was cohesion. I want to point at something else. I don't want to just say the layout, right? I thought they got tremendous performance out of Chad Bashir. I mean, he was playing lights out, right? So, I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is, but you very well could be onto something there. It could have been, just that little tilting of the boat a little bit and not getting their steady footing just yet.
Yeah, and I don't know, right? Like I've had conversations with Joey, and he kind of mentioned the tempo things. He was like, "Yeah, we when I think about Tampa Bay Damage and how they normally operate and manage a match, they'll come at you for 1, 2, 3 points, right? They come at you pretty high tempo, take a lot of space, take a little risk, and they get up 2, 3 points, and that's then when you normally see kind of the lock it up, come and get it, kind of mentality. But they also, in those lock it up mentalities, normally shoot 1, 2 guys off the break, right? And then kind of really hit the brakes and make those 3 guys. Their kind of goal when they're up points is to make you concede, right? Burn as much time as they can and make you concede. And I really felt like at the last event, they didn't really do that. I do think that Mouse helps with things like that because he can play very up tempo. I do think he's kind of altered his game a little bit over the last couple of years to being a little more reactive, which he's become very good at the counter. Really, really good. Stolen some points, from teams that he they probably shouldn't have. So it'll be really interesting to see how Skinny uses him in their system.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting, especially since we pulled them. So I'll be close attention to that.
You're going to get a first-hand look.
I am.
You're going to get a first-hand look.
That's right.
All right, let's move on, right?
All right.
Because there's lots of other things
Lots
that we
to
could talk
talk.
about
Yep.
in that deal, but let's move on. So again, we don't we're going to beat this up until obviously it's over. ESPN this weekend. If you have an opportunity to go, I'm putting the sign up link in the comments right now.
To clarify,
I'm trying
it's
to.
Friday morning. It's Friday morning on ESPN2. And I believe it's Eastern time is 10. So Central would be 9, Mountain 8, and then Pacific 7 a.m. So, and I'd imagine they're going to show it again. Now it will be live. So we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be Friday morning, August 1st, 10 a.m. Eastern. So
Yeah, and that's on
ESPN2.
ESPN2.
Mhm.
So set your DVRs if you're not going to be able to watch it live.
Yeah.
Again, if you are in the Florida area, if you're anywhere around here and can get the day off, make sure to go. And I apologize, I had the link saved, and for some reason it's not. If you can find it, if you don't mind, Mike,
Yeah.
if you can find that link on Major League Paintball's Facebook page, just copy and paste it. We'll
Sure.
put the link in the chat. You do have to have a ticket, right, to show that you're going, but it's free. The first 100 people through the door are going to get a free Major League Paintball shirt. The reality is we want to be able to paper the background as much as we can with Major League Paintball fans. So I do have some information. I watched as much of the Play the Game podcast before this show as I could, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So Andrew Ormsby says, didn't Herb Brooks say all-star teams fail because they rely solely on individual time? So one of my favorite movies of all times and one of my favorite quotes of all times, he did in fact say that. He absolutely did. However, if you look at Tampa Bay Damage and what they've done over the years, they've had kind of rosters like that and been really, really successful. You go all the way back to the Dave Baines years when Dave and Justin Rabikoff were with them. They were really, really good. Now, over the last few years, and again, I say this with all due respect, Tampa Bay Damage has kind of fallen into a weird upper mid-tier team. And I don't know if that's, I don't know why, but they seem to have kind of fallen into this like 5, 8, 10 area a few times. And really with what they're spending and kind of the spoils that they have, you'd think they'd be in the top 3 pretty regularly.
Right.
And I think that's where they believe they should be. So yeah,
And I have
good quote, Andrew.
found the link. I have found the link and I will post it in all.
Yeah. So when I say be responsible at the end of our show, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like if you have an opportunity to be there, please, please, please be there. It's a big deal. The format, 10-minute running clock. There'll be 30 seconds in between each point. No split deck, so it's going to be really, really fast trying to get in and out. But it's 2 pods, right? So pretty easy. You don't have to get air. There's
Right.
3 pods or 2 pods in a hopper, so guys can play a lot of points back to back to back. So
Absolutely.
no big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
30 seconds. It's going to be a 10-minute match. Clock's running that entire time. 1 timeout, and then they'll have a clock stop at 30 seconds. But it's 30 seconds in between points. So it's going to be kinetic. I like to use that word. It's going to be very dynamic and kinetic. And we've got those commercial breaks, so we have to finish. Now, if it's tied at the end of regulation, there was initial talk of having a half-point flag for the very first point. That went away, and now they're talking about they will have a 30-second overtime point one-on-one, and whoever, if that ends up in no one winning, then it's whoever scored the fastest point during the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
tempo is going to be important.
Tempo will be very important. So it'll be fit versus impact first. Then it'll be us next. So
yeah. And then we get to go right away and play again.
That's right.
Yeah,
I do plan on playing right away.
Yeah. Quick note on that. It is really hot here. I'm in Tampa right now. It is terribly hot here. So if you are coming out to the show, I know it's, going to be a little bit earlier in the morning, but I will tell you, even at 10 a.m., it is toasty here. So please drink plenty of water the day before. Um, if you're planning on doing other shenanigans, if you're, coming in, grabbing a hotel, and you're planning on getting into some other shenanigans the evening before, grab a few liquid IV. You may need them.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
real hot here.
Yeah. Hydrate well. Matter of fact, you should have started hydrating last week. Hopefully everybody's hydrating on the teams and they're good to go for that. But also it is confirmed there is an after party at Uno's.
Yeah. 1:00, right?
1:00. It is 1:00. There'll be a meet and greet, I think, after the event around between 11 and noon. And then everyone will have the after party at Uno's at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So come join us. So,
yeah. So when we bring Kyle in, we'll kind of talk about that because he's in Georgia, which is, real close. And it is, I promise. It's ridiculous. So
Nick
ridiculous.
Slowiak, you are the man.
Yeah.
I love this.
All right. We really
Thank you,
appreciate you guys. And again, when we talk about be responsible, this is what we're talking about. This is an opportunity for us to really show out. It's a big deal. First live show ever in paintball. So it's a big, and remember that ESPN called us last year. We hunted after them and created that relationship. When I say we, I mean Tom Cole and Tom Cole solely. Drove to Tulsa, Oklahoma and to an axe throwing competition, made the right connection. This is a big deal. So get out here.
It was. Absolutely. Well, what do you say we bring in our guest and start talking about some coaching stuff?
Yeah, let's get into it. And I'm glad Nick's here because I think his team won the tournament.
That's right. Is that true, Mr. Barry? Did Mr. Slowiak take the W?
Mr. Slowiak did take the W. Mr. Slowiak is a beast, bro. An absolute beast. Yeah. I played him in the finals 2 years ago at the BKi Summer Camp, and he beat me then. And then he took the finals this year pretty handily. His guys were really good at the comms and really on top of it. And he's just really good at keeping a positive attitude in the pits and making sure everyone's playing their best paintball. So, yeah, he came home with a lot of trophies.
He's not letting it go. He's just not letting it go.
I just can't imagine Nick creating a positive environment. Like he's the most positive guy out there, right? Like
That's
always.
True.
He's walking around with a smile on his face, and
100%.
Nick is an incredibly positive guy. So,
absolutely,
all that makes sense.
And it's crazy because ever since the first year I've been to BKi, everyone calls Nick out for one-on-ones. Like the kids get they get a little uppity when they first come to camp, right? So us as professors will let them call us out. Nick gets called out for one-on-ones all the time. I'm like, that is the last guy that you want to get called out for a one-on-one, and of all of this. And the kids learn very quickly. Yeah, very quickly. Nick's nice about it though.
Sure,
I'm sure he is. So let's dive into this. First of all, how did you get involved with the BKi Summer Camp?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have been a fan of BKi for a very, very long time. Anthony Vitale and I came together, I believe about 4 or 5 years ago to do advertising for his Boston paintball fields. So I started doing advertising to help him grow. And I started talking to him, and I think he learned that I'm a nerd at paintball and I absolutely love it. And I like coaching, especially kids. I like coaching kids just because I believe that's the future of our sport. Don't get me wrong. I like coaching adults too, but adults usually MF me a lot for my training procedures and the way that I like to train people. So the kids are what I like to train, and it kind of opened up for the camp because the camp, as you guys said before, is not made for kids. It's a pro camp. A lot of kids go to it because I'm a dad, you know what I mean? Have dropped my kid off for a summer camp sounds great. And if he plays paintball, there's no better summer camp to drop him off to. But this last summer camp, we had little Caitlin, who was 13 years old, a young female player who's nasty. And then we had a 53-year-old gentleman who came out, who'd been playing for over 20 years, both at the camp. And they both left saying that they learned different things, but learned an immense amount of knowledge within the 5 days of paintball that we played. So the way I got into it was really starting that conversation. And then Anthony saying, hey, would you be interested in coming out for the camp? Instantly said yes. This was 2 years ago now. And I came out for the first camp and I was just giddy. Honestly, I never went to a summer camp. I did a paintball summer camp when I was younger, where I trained kids when I was like 18, 19, 20. But this is nothing compared to that. Anthony and Lori put on not only some of the best hospitality you could possibly ask for with a private chef. I mean, we're eating prime rib on Saturday night. We're eating salmon on Thursday night. We have lamb chops throughout the week. Like, private chef, amazing food, custom build us bunks so that we're all inside this large facility that's all netted off. So the Northeast mosquitoes aren't eating you alive. And they really take care of you. So I fell in love with it the first year, and thankfully he's invited me back every year since.
I have so many questions just off what he just said. And
Shoot.
I don't want to go off on too many tangents because I want to get into the meat of it all.
I'll narrow you back in when needed.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Besides the food, I'll take my questions away from the food. Anthony Vitale, BKi, right? Boston Paintball. What do you
Committed.
think?
I mean, the list just goes on and on.
It just goes on and on and on. So the concept behind the BKi. Now, I love the fact that we were just talking about this. We were talking about there's a misconception that the BKi Summer Camp is for children, and it's not. It is a professional training camp, right? Whether your age, because it's put on by professionals, right? And it's run by professionals. So you're not coming in here to sit there and say, okay, we're going to sing Kumbaya and, go jump in the lake and learn archery. No, we're coming here to immerse ourselves in the training methods of paintball. So we had a young lady who was 13 years old, and you said there was an older gentleman that was 53. So he's my age out there learning and practicing. Right. And so, of course, we talked about there's so many different diverse divisions that come out there. So walk us through this. I mean, what the purpose of, if you had to sum up the purpose of BKi Summer Camp, right? If you wanted to disperse this concept of it being a camp for children, how would you sum it up? How would you describe BKi Summer Camp to somebody who's interested in taking their game to the next level? How would you sell it?
It is the only 5 days of paintball where the only focus is to make you a better player by the time you leave. It doesn't matter age, division. We all custom make what we're doing, right? Like, and I'll go through the itinerary a little bit as we go through this, but let's take a normal snapping drill, for example. Well, there's a variety of players that come. At this last one, we had players from the WCPPL Premier Division all the way down to D5 players, right? In their local league. And when we do a snapping drill, we have a set KPI or an expectation that we set on everybody. And some people can't perform to it. Some people outperform it. Well, if you outperform it, we make the drill more difficult for you specifically. And we'll show you exactly what we as professionals do in that same exact drill to push ourselves to the next limit, right? There's a running gunning drill that we're doing with the kids that went from 25%, 50%, 75 to 100%. And by 100%, you're starting off in a full sprint, like you're barreled to the box, taking off, running full speed, pulling up. You have 3 balls to hit a target, slide in, and you can't overslide. And we are that critical if you're good enough. If you want that level of intensity and you really want to be better, we're pushing you to the top level that you possibly can go. We have, a guy named Kyle, I believe his last name is Beth. We called him KB. Played in the Premier Division on Narcos, I believe it is, in WCPPL. We had him puking, right? We had a 13-year-old kid that, was a little bit heavier set that had him puking. They're both puking from the same drill at different levels of intensity, and both helping each other get up, get some water, and get back into the drill, and as well as the professors helping them get there. So it truly is a single place where the number one goal, and that's what Anthony built it as. I learned that this year. That Anthony's been running a combine structure well prior to what I believe since the early 2000s. Right. So the BKi combine that he holds at a different part of the year was the first concept, and then the summer camp came after that. But he was running combines before BKi. So the Boston Combine was a normal thing. And his real goal, and Anthony, I love his vision of paintball and how he sees it. He treats us like professional players and sees us as professional athletes. And he sees everybody there as up and coming professional athletes. So that's the environment he creates. So if you're we treat you like you're on your path pro. We don't expect you to act as a pro. We expect you to do your absolute best as a player. But our goal is by the time you leave there, you will be a better paintball player than you showed up within a week, right? But those 5 days, the Wednesday afternoon to Sunday or Sunday afternoon, you will be a better player. And every player unanimously that comes out of there agrees on that point.
2 quick things. One, I absolutely love. It's the only 5 days of only focus is to make you a better paintball player. That needs to be a tagline. That needs to be in all the advertisements. And 2, you were doing a great job selling it until you started talking about the puking. Maybe revamp that part.
No, I don't think so.
On the
Because
sale
there's people
pitch.
who want that.
Well, I'm
I
sure
love that he talked about that, because I do think that there's athletes that want that
To be
really
pushed.
want that, right? Like there's some that like Kyle's saying, that they want the 25%, and there's some that want 110%.
Now, are
Just
they going
says
to be in the
pro
same
camp.
heats, Kyle? So like if I've got a person that, I got a 13-year-old who's at 25%, but then I've got a 28-year-old who wants the 100, and it's the same heat. I mean, you just change the drill's the same. You just push them harder.
Great question, Coach. They are separated in different heats, so we do do separate. Yeah, if you want to go through, can I go through the itinerary, because I think people really need to know this, right? It's not posted enough. So we start off the day on Wednesday. Everybody flies in. Normally on Wednesday, when we come in for the last 2 years, we were just meet and greet. Guys would come in, we'd introduce ourselves as the professors. We'd be there to support them. We'd have a nice little conversation. We'd hang out for a little bit. Everybody gets some swag, and then they go to bed. Right? Not this year. Anthony's like, they need to play more paintball. So Wednesday, when everyone showed up, we all went down to the field and we did a one-on-one clinic with Tommy Greenleaf, the winner of the Hormesis one-on-one clinic. So he was there, as well as Connor Kelly, myself, Joe Barrett. And then while that's happening, Kyle Spick is driving a van back and forth to pick all the kids up from the airport, because it really is a VIP experience. As soon as you land, you get picked up by a big black bus. We drive you, pick up all your gear. We drive you directly to the field, drop you off at the field, and then we go and played one-on-ones. Well, one-on-ones lasted for about 4 to 5 hours, as many as you want. There was no set KPIs. This one was just a knowledge base of just like, hey, here's an extra day of paintball. We come back. Anthony has built custom-made showers there, so we all get a nice hot shower, an actual hot shower that they have set up. All the bunks are pre-structured for you. So he's built out these separation of bunks. He's got you organized with kids that are in your age or in your division. Or if you've come with somebody, you're going to be bunking with that person. So you get to meet new people, but it's not an uncomfortable experience. You're not going to be a 53-year-old guy showing up and bunking with a 13-year-old kid. He understands how to separate the human beings. And with that, if the girls that show up, they get a completely separate tent, completely separate bunk to take care of them. So it's all very kosher inside of the actual bunk. At the end of Wednesday, we have a nice just meet and greet with the professors. They get some food. Our first dinner was salmon with capers, salad. Like, the food is ridiculous. I can go on and on about that.
Stop.
Carmen's the man.
Yeah. Dude, Carmen is the man. The man. We start off Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Everybody wakes up. Carmen's already got breakfast buffet laid out for everybody. Everyone gets a nice little breakfast. They get about 30 to 45 minutes to digest. And then we have a shuttle that Anthony has built that brings us from our little bunks to the actual field. So that the whole time you're immersed in paintball, you never leave the paintball scenario, right? We get drive down there, and then I've been the dude that's been nominated to do the warm-ups. That's probably why there's puking, right? I believe this is a professional sport. So when we warm up like professionals. We are doing bear crawls, suicides. We're doing sprints. Now, this is the nice thing about the fact that it's the summer camp aspect that comes in, right? We tell everybody that you're going to learn what you put in. You want to put in 110%, you're going to get 110% out of this. You're a little hurt. You're a little young. You got stomach problems. You don't feel good. Go take a break. I'm not going to yell at you here. I'm going to yell at you if you're trying and I can tell you're not giving 100% and you want to. But we qualify the people through that process. We talk to them, right? With six professionals there, plus 2 or 3 other people to support. It's not like you show up and there's just like a hardcore regimen. We're there to teach you, and we have to find out where you are to take you to the next level. So start off in the morning on Thursday with some nice warm-ups. Once we're done with warm-ups, Thursday's all individual skills. So then Anthony breaks you up into heats. He had 3 separate heats, heat 1, heat 2, heat 3, heat 1 with the highest ranking players that is going off of APPA, and then heat 3 with the lowest ranking players. So you're staying together with basically your APPA ranking. Nice. Then we go through a rotational set. We have one set that is a Ryan Greenspan drill, sick, incorporates sliding, snapping, diving, crawling, hitting your first shot. The crazy stuff that Ryan Greenspan does in the field, right? Always hitting his first shot, always getting to his spot. Then you were working with Nick Sloviak and Joe Barrett on laning, two guys that are just incredible off the box, right? And showing you the finite tricks, right? And that's the biggest difference. If you show up and you're in that heat 3 and you're just starting off in paintball, they're showing you how to line up correctly, how to set up correctly. Everything's good. You're in that heat 1, you come to the box, you set up fine, you have no problems, you pull up, you hit your first shot. Well, now we're teaching you how to hit 2 shots, your timing between the shots. We're trying to teach you, hey, if you have a fast runner, you can't hit the first shot. You have to make sure to avoid it. If you're in a position where you're the laner and your gap isn't clear, you have to edge out. And you're learning the high levels of even just laning. Then you go down to running gunning. This year it was with me and Connor Kelly teaching you running gunning. And that was the 25, 50, 75, 100%, right? Just in the warm up of the running gunning drill. Then we're taking drills from, me. I feel like I don't have anything original. I'm just stealing from all the other best pro players. So I'm bringing Fedorov's drill into it. I'm bringing Tampa Bay Damage drills into it. And you're seeing a collection of drills that, us as pro players have brought together over the last 20 years. Once we finish that, then we go into a little bit more one-on-one situations, right? Where how you play certain gaps or how you play certain structures in a one-on-one with your spacing. And then there's a one-on-one tournament at the end of the first day. And that person gets a prize. They love prizes. They love awards. They're giving out Hormesis headbands, Tiger wears stuff. I'm pretty sure Spick and Span gave away cash this year. Like there's all these little awards that come through it. Jake Squires actually won the one-on-one tournament this year. Rodney Squires' son, who's a second generation up and coming gangster. Yeah.
That's right. Rodney Squires of Dynasty fame.
Yeah. I mean, awesome. But we progress throughout the event by adding more bodies and adding more difficulty. So when we get home, beautiful dinner, we get our showers, all that good stuff. And then we watch film. We have specific film that we are taking. Each professor is going through each of their individual drills and they're videotaping you personally. You get on blast a little bit. I'm not going to lie. We have a projector in the front of the screen. Everyone sits down and we go through the drills and we go through body mechanics and showing you what you actually look like through the video. So now you're getting the hands-on approach from, dude, it's the most immersive, best experience
so
out
invaluable.
there.
That is
very,
huge.
very. And that's why I'm so excited. I want to interject here just for a moment. So each professor has chosen from his videoing what I'd imagine he brings. Hey, here's really good form. Here's not so good form.
Exactly. And then the differentiation between it, right? We're stopping and playing it over and over. We're watching foot positions. We're watching how people slide, how they get low, where their eyes are, their eyes to the ground or their eyes up. And then we're showing them firsthand.
Can you do this for every player or just a couple of examples?
Group setting at the end. So we don't have enough time to go through all four. There was 43 or 44 participants this year. So there's too much to go through everyone, but we want to show examples of general public of what everyone else is doing. And then the premier example, this is what everyone should be looking at. This is how everyone should be looking at when they do this drill. Ryan's incredible at it. I don't know how Ryan Greenspan does it. He's taking content. He's like, talking to people. He's talking the dude's an example for all of us players that want to help grow the sport. Nonetheless, we get into Thursday and we add another body. We now go into 2-on-2 scenarios. So you have 2 different stations at this point. Instead of having 3 heats, we have 2 heats to bring some more bodies together. And now we're going through 2-on-2 situation on one field that's focused on high intensity, close quarters, 2-on-2s and how to close out. The other field is more of a high intensity red line style game where we're playing on it almost as a respawn. So you have to be in the game and in the action. And that's one thing I think us as professors at BKi do really, really well is that, yes, you are there to learn and to progress, but you got to have fun with it. Yeah. I'm getting kids to puke. Yeah. They're running and it's high intensity, but they're doing it they're doing it in a way. We're doing it in a way where you're always feeling the award afterwards. You're always feeling some level of accomplishment because we're setting it up that way. We want you to understand that what is good should be recognized as good. Right. And we're doing that through little games, through competitions, all throughout the camp while you're progressing your skills. You can hear these guys 10 o'clock in the morning, boosting their team up, screaming, getting all excited in a 2-on-2 format.
Real quick, Nick Sloviak has jumped into the comments. And for those of you who are listening and can't see, he says the footage is also uploaded to a drive This way the campers can go back and rewatch any and all clips. And we talk about watching tape here on the show all the time and how important it is, right? And then you should video yourself. You should check, and you should track your progress almost like a journal in some ways, I feel sometimes, depending on the player. But that's fantastic. So we're on Friday, not Thursday, though, right?
No, Thursday would be individual schools. Friday is the 2 and 3 man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So the
So
2v2. Please
2v2s.
tell me the 2v2 and the closing. If you shot the first guy, the other two had to close alive.
I mean, we put expectations again, depending on where they are in their skill level, their expectation. That's the expectation you have for us, coach, when we're doing dynasty practice, right? So KB
To
here
be for
in the
every
comments-
team.
It should be for everyone, but yes.
Yeah. KB here in the comments, like Kyle Breath, that's who I was talking about before. Yeah, his expectations are like, you do not die whatsoever, right? Like that, the expectations are higher for certain people, while other players, sometimes you're just getting them to breathe. You get these low
Yeah.
D5 guys that are in the rotation with them, and it's not like we're yelling at them like, "Hey, why'd you die?" Right? Because you have to make them engaging and loving the process to actually improve. So it's really about, how do I get them to absorb the information? So some
They're in a
people,
fishbowl.
yeah. This picture I have here, where is it? My background picture. How do I do this? Little Cooper Harrison. This one
Okay.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. That's little Cooper Harrison. Kid's 13 years old. This kid
I
I
know
can yell
Coop.
at. Yep.
Yeah.
This kid I can yell at, right? There's other 13-year-olds where I pull them to the side and be like, "Hey, take a breath. How do we get through this?" You know what I mean?
Coop's been
why-
yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
He's been yelled at a lot.
And he plays as if, right? He
Yeah.
works hard and he plays really well. So it's a balancing act. And because we have 6 professors that have vastly different characteristics and charisma and attitude, like a Nick Sloviak and Kyle Spick are 2 vastly different human beings, right?
Mhm.
And people are going to resonate with Kyle and people are going to resonate with Nick. But we're there to make sure we're supporting everybody, right? In a way to actually get them better. That's the whole point. It's not to beat people up. It's not to make it a summer camp and joking and all fun and kumbaya, as you said. It's again, every single player will improve no matter what.
Yeah. So you
So-
said 2. So day 2, 2-on-2 closing.
And then
What's
we get into
next?
3-on-3s at the end of that day. And then we actually end Friday with a 10-on-40 woods ball game, the professors versus all the kids. We take 1 or 2
Yeah,
kids with
fun.
us. Yeah. Oh, it's a blast. Besides, you want to hear a funny story? The Hornet
Yes.
story.
Worse.
So if anybody knows, Ryan Greenspan's just as good in the woods as he is on the speedball field. So we're 5 minutes into the game. Ryan's halfway down into their side of the field. We start on top of a hill. They start at the bottom. They're working their way up. I look over and Ryan Greenspan is running back up the hill while shooting backwards into the ground. And I am like, what is going on? I'm in the middle of the game and I'm looking over and he's swinging his gun around his head and his hand around his head. The dude was posted up sitting on top of a hornet's nest and they just engulfed him. Got all stung up, run to the top of the hill. I'm pretty sure he shot 4 or 5 of them in the run backwards in midair, wiped them off, went right back down the hill and cleared out the side. Crazy. But yeah, so end the day with the woods ball game. Again, shower. I think we had lamb chops that night, beautiful dinner. And then we go into more footage. Now we're going into footage into teamwork scenarios. Now we're talking about communication. We're talking about what we should be talking about. How does a 1 and 2 work together in comms? How do they come together? And by this time, the players are much more engaged. So there's questions coming to us, right? We're in our bunk is the first bunk out of all the bunks inside of this facility. We're there with everybody. We're not separated. We're right there. So we're getting questions from every different angle from all these different people. At the same time, there's kids out there playing with their iPads. There's kids playing chess in the middle of the field. There's kids cleaning their guns and dealing with their equipment all together, all in a paintball environment. I couldn't tell you how many times I walked past bunks and everyone's just sitting there watching paintball videos, which is the coolest thing to see. As a person that did that my entire childhood, to watch a whole groups of individuals be like I was as a kid and them come together with they've never met before. You have people, mid-20s, early 30s that are meeting for the first time while cleaning their gear, and they become lifelong friends through those nights after the games of play. Yeah. Saturday, we go into 5-man, right into 5-man. Same thing, start off early every day, high intensity warm-up, Make sure you guys have water. Everyone gets water bottles. There's, a water fountain right there for everybody to be drinking at the whole times. They supply us lunch while we're at the field. We're getting steak sandwiches, tuna sandwiches. Carmen's just constantly hooking it up. They have waters. They have Gatorades. Everything's there for you. And unlimited paint. Anthony is just bringing paint and bringing paint and bringing paint and bringing paint. Pods are there for you. Everything is covered, right? I think that's one thing that's undermined a little bit. Maybe some people see it and they're like, maybe they look at the price tag and that's what holds them back. You are saving money with the amount of paint that you're shooting, the stay that you have, the place to stay, basically the little hotel room that you get, and then the food. And then if you want to bring a top level pro coach to your field, it's starting off at $1,000 to $1,500 right there. Right. You know what I mean? Like I've talked to a lot of coaches that won't go to even a single day clinic for under $1,500. You have 6 of us there with you. Right. And we're there all day, all night with you. Right. At all times. So, Saturday we come into 5-on-5s. This is for professors, our favorite day for 2 major reasons. One, we start seeing all the skills accumulate together and we can talk about, hey, you lost that gunfight. Remember when we talked about your head angle, that thing that we talked about 3 days ago? Yeah, you remember that? Don't mess it up the next time. Hey, remember when we talked about in this aggression drill race to the 50, how you need to break through this boundary? You had the opportunity here. You didn't do it. You remember that? Yeah. Okay. Make sure you do it next time. And then we get to watch them actually implement it and watch them make actual real-time changes from examples that they've given over the last few days to that moments in 5-on-5. The second reason we love it is because at the end of the day, they play against us 5-on-5. So we get to play speedball against them. And that's always a blast because, a lot of people like to be lippy. And then they see pretty quickly the kids, I'm going to give them this year. They put up a fight compared to previous years. We came in a little sloppy. I'm not going to lie. We didn't have bunker calls or anything. But at the end of the day, they get to actually feel the intensity of playing against the pros, right? The difference in the gunfight, the difference in the speed, all of that.
So are they, for the 5-on-5s, are they still separated into heats, the 1, 2s, and 3s?
We keep them in groupings of players that are consistent with each other, right? Like, so we have, by the time we go to 5-on-5s, there is 8 teams, right, of 5. And then each team 1 and team 2 are usually those top divisions. And then we move those down as we go through. So when 1 plays 2, you're basically playing D2 guys and D3 guys versus D3 guys and D2 guys together, right? So they're staying throughout until Sunday. They are basically going toe to toe with like-minded competition. Okay. And then Sunday is the draft.
So Saturday's 5v5 all day long, 5v5. We're playing 2 pods and a hopper, but quick points. I was keeping track halfway through, and each player played roughly around 15 points before I stopped keeping track, which is just after lunch. So probably by the end of the day, they're getting almost the same level as a professional practice, anywhere from 20 to 25 points in the day, right? Each individual kid. So now, is there game planning happening? Are you're game planning with these guys? You're teaching them about execution. You're teaching them about, hey, if A, then B, what kind of goes into that other than just letting them play and critiquing?
You have a professor in each box to bring the player onto the field. You have a professor behind each box that's confirming the game plan and making sure they understood the professor in there and that they actually execute it. And then you have another professor on the Dorito side sidelines who's critiquing the D side guys as they play. And then we have 2 players up, usually Anthony or 1 more player up in the tower critiquing the snake side. So everybody that's playing every point gets a small piece of advice of improvement every single time. You are being watched throughout the entire process, and they're allowing you to understand, hey, is your shot good? Are you low? Are you high? Are you running the right routes? Are you understanding the right information? Are you actually exploiting the opportunities that are coming of you? Right. And they're getting that hands-on involvement throughout every single point, all throughout Saturday.
Awesome.
Saturday games ends after they play us, and then there's the draft. Sick concept. Love the draft, right? This is super fun for us professors. Anthony has built a snake-style draft system where we all pull a number out of a hat. That's our pick. And then we go through, and each player gets to pick 1 player at a time. And we go through and make our teams from all the available players. So there's a wide range of players there. So you're picking everybody throughout the process and trying to build your team and your unit, right? Super fun process. Normally takes us roughly around an hour to do. And then we come back and Chef Carmen's got a ribeye sitting out for all the kids after and cooked to perfection. I mean, just incredible stuff. Once we're done with the ribeye and the food, then there's the awards. So we have a full award ceremony that happens. We give out awards for MVP, so most valuable player at the entire camp. Jake Squires actually won that as well. I mean, it really just played out of his mind. And was really good, a teammate and supporter. We have awards for best teammate, awards for biggest heart. We have awards for most improved players, right? These awards all come with a little gift, a little support, little recognition in front of everybody else. And then once we're done with that, each person this year got to announce their team and work through their entire roster. And we all got personalized, like Team Barry. You can kind of, I don't know, they're a little gray. See from the picture in the background, Team Barry, Team Spica, Team Greenspan, all with their own individual shirts. These guys left with a goodie bag of, I mean, they had T-shirts, jerseys, this dry fit for their team. They had tiger wear gloves. There was a goodie bag of a bunch of stuff that they get just for showing up. And Anthony just keeps handing stuff out throughout the process, as well as like, us as professors. If you see something amazing, we hold our little own competitions throughout the tournament, throughout the practice, where we're handing out headbands and goggle straps and just supporting everybody that wants to give in to paintball. That's all we care about. I think the biggest superpower that Anthony has put together is that all the professors there truly just care about making sure the next generation of paintball is bright, is a shining star and a shining example of what the sport can be.
And of course, Sunday is the big tournament
All day. You play 3 prelim matches, full matches. They're 8 minutes, race to 4. Yeah, race to 4 with your team. So Saturday night, as soon as you finish calling out your team, the game plan's starting. That's when everyone separates into their groups. Ryan's doing psychological warfare to each group. Joe Barrett's talking for 45 hours in the corner about every little detail of what they should be doing on the field, right? Nick Sloviak's motivating the guys and pump them up. Each coach does their thing a little bit differently, but they get to sit down with those group of individuals. And now I'm looking all them in the face, and we've had some one-on-ones here and there, but now they're my team. And I've seen how this kid snaps. I've seen how he runs and guns. I see his communication. And I pick these players depending on what I've seen. And then I say, hey, this is the role that I want to put you in. Do you feel comfortable? Yes. Awesome. Here's my expectations of you. Let's work through this. Let's work through winning this tournament and working together as a team and really striving to be better, striving to get a W, right? And you get to motivate the guys, and it gets a whole different level of intensity. And then Sunday morning, we go out to the field, and it's match after match after match after match after match. Nick Sloviak and Joe Barrett were in the finals going toe-to-toe. Joe was undefeated until he went toe-to-toe with Nick Sloviak, and then Nick beat him up a little bit. And then at the end, once there's a winner, they get a nice trophy, an event MVP, support for them, and that usually closes up right around 3:00 on Sunday. By the end of it, you're looking at about 35 hours to 40 hours of paintball, of field time within that 5 days that you're there, combined with everything else that you're getting. But that's the gist of the actual program. The one thing that I can't explain over this, that you really have to be there to feel, is 40 to 50 people all together loving and caring about paintball. All together for multiple days. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I'm going to call Anthony tonight, and I'm going to tell him, hey, you need to change this to BKi training camp, not summer camp. It just needs to be BKi training camp.
It's tough. It's tough to say it, because if you're not humble enough, all the listeners, I'll be very blunt, like I always am. If you're not humble enough to come out to a summer camp because you don't believe that Ryan Greenspan, Nick Sloviak, Kyle Spica, Joe Barrett, Connor Kelly, and Kyle Berry can make you a better paintball player in 5 days, and you're saying that you don't think you can do it because it's made for kids, right? I don't think you really care that much. If this was available when I was younger and I knew about it, I would be paying to be here. Right.
And I think that's why that's why it should be called training camp, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, you are getting in there, and it sounds like you're going you're not only doing fundamentals. You heard me talk about this so much, Kyle, and so is Ryan. Ryan's probably sick of it, but foundational training. And it sounds like that's exactly what this whole week is. Day 1, first foundation. Day 2, second foundation. Day 3, third foundation. And then we culminate it all. And I feels like it's a training camp. It is a professional paintball training camp, and everybody should be there. You know, it just sounds fantastic. And I can't get over I'm drooling over the food. Anyway.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I say it all the time because it's funny because I come to the end and everyone's sore, everyone's beat up, everyone's pissed at me because I'm the one doing the warm-ups, right? So, and I talked to the parents and then I talked to the players afterwards, and I was just like, how do you feel? Are you okay? He's like, I'm sore, I'm tired. This is the greatest thing I've ever done. Parents, hey, that was really intense. That was really crazy. This was 1,000,000% worth it. Right. The 53-year-old man that I was talking about. Right. I asked him, I'm like, are you okay? He goes, I will be back next year. Guaranteed. If I could pay for it right now, I would. Right. He's like, I've never in all my year, I've been playing paintball for over 25 years, 28 years, something like that. He said, I've never experienced a group like this that cared so much about helping me be better at paintball.
Goodness gracious. Now I'm really envious.
Yeah.
And I think the things that you're saying right now completely resonate with, you know, what I've learned about Anthony and Laurie and kind of their mission and, you know, their kind of attitude and goal around what I think they've done with BKi and certainly the Combine and now the summer camp has been to do just that, right? Build and cultivate and curate kind of this experience that is wrapped around very intentional, structured training. And I know Ryan, you know, Greenspan's been a big part of kind of the development of a lot of that training. And, you know, I know Mike, because he gets to work with him now all the time, you know, that man he's incredibly impressive as it relates to his paintball knowledge, right? Like, and I don't care how long, you know, kind of you've been around, and, you know, I've been around this game a really long time. And you know, there's things I hear Ryan say now that I'm like, wow, I haven't thought about it from that perspective. That's really good. So I don't think it even matters, you know, how long somebody's been playing. As you mentioned, like you're going to get a nugget from each one of the coaches, and probably multiple, right? But I do think I kind of agree with Mike. I do think when we call it summer camp, it just loses a little bit of its luster to the older group because they think summer camp, like, that's for kids. But I also agree with you, Kyle. I wouldn't want to lose the kids either, right? Because they need to watch this all the time. You know, every time I'm at a field, I saw it yesterday, right? Like, I'm here in Tampa training with the Red Legion group. I'm watching these divisional teams train, right? They're not training. They're playing recreational paintball on an inflatable field. That's what they're doing. They're not training. They're not practicing. They're just playing games the same way we would pick up a rental gun and go play in the woods. That's exactly what they're doing, just with much more expensive stuff on inflatable bunkers. That's it. But it's not training, right?
No, it's not.
So I think that, again, that everything you're saying is exactly the type of experience that Anthony and Laurie have tried tremendously hard to curate, and it sounds like it's coming to fruition.
And it explains why Team USA has been so successful as well, because it sounds like these elements are implemented rather into the Team USA training. And I think that's really, really, really important. And you're absolutely right on all of that. So,
Ryan, I couldn't agree with you more. I've been saying the same exact thing as you just said, is like, you guys are not practicing, you're playing the same, you're doing the same exact thing the rec ball players are doing. So how is that training professionally? Right. And Mike, you're right. I mean, Anthony and Laurie also, you know, they took the reins of Team USA a few years ago, not by their desire to take the reins. It was nobody was doing it. It was post-COVID, and nobody wanted to grab the opportunity to have Team USA. And Anthony and Laurie, I love that.
Marcus says, I don't care what it's called. When can you sign up for next year?
Agreed. Yeah.
Well played, Marcus.
That's, I mean, yeah.
But they took the reins of Team USA so that we would have a Team USA to compete in the Nations Cup. But like I said, his mentality was like this since prior to the me medium, the combine. The combine concept is the same thing, high intensity drill formations, just like a football combine, which, for a lot of the paintball players that are out there listening, I can't explain it in any better way than if you want to be a better paintball player and you are out there just playing points, you are wasting your money and wasting your time and wasting your potential, because you will never be able to push yourself to the potential that you really have playing points where you're not fixing the small finite details like we are at the BKi Summer Camp. And that's why, if you go there, one of the pictures right when you walk in is Marcelo Margot with Colton Dahl, and Colton Dahl is a baby. I mean, he's holding a mini and it's about as big as him, or maybe a shocker and it's about as big as him. He has progressed through that system, as well as many other top level players. Brandon from Aftermath. What's his last name? I can't remember.
Trujillo.
Yes. Thank you. He came directly from this camp, and he got the structure from this, right? There's a lot of players that have seen what we're supposed to be doing to be a professional through what Anthony and Lori have developed. And it's the right thing to do. It's the right training. And it's been proven time and time again. And at the end of a BKi Summer Camp, if you guys finish it off, you will know exactly what it takes, where you sit, and what you have to do next to get where you want to go in paintball. And if that is a top level semi-pro player, or just winning in your D4 division, or a pro in the next 2 to 3 years, you will understand. Ben, Trent, Nick's just naming them off.
We've got both of our young guys, Sebastian Lopez and Jameson Stanton, both went to combines when they were younger. Yep. Both of them.
It is the right way of practicing. And again, the summer camp is the epitome of it, in my opinion, because it not only brings in that regiment, it brings in Anthony and Lori's best hospitality, private chef, bunks, taken care of, drinks, snacks, everything that you need. In the timeline of our dead season, it happens every year in that little null between the NXL events, right? So it's that perfect time that, like, if you want to take a break halfway through the season and you're that type of guy, you're probably not right for the camp either way. But if you're trying to train during that off season to win the last 2 events of the year, there is no better place to be than the BKi Summer Camp.
You both brought up the fact that a lot of these teams just go out there and play points, and all they're doing, is just doing what a rec player technically was doing. I'm a firm believer that what they're also doing is reiterating bad habits. And so when you can have an opportunity to be under the microscope like this, you can identify those and you can start and begin to fix them, which ultimately improves your game. Otherwise, you're just going out there and you're a broken record and you won't see growth. And if you do see growth, it's an anomaly. But I truly do believe that, we have to recognize the bad habits. We have to recognize the bad, whatever it is, before we can grow and become better. It's just that simple. You might become a specialist and say, this guy's one of the best snap shooters I've ever seen. Doesn't matter if he doesn't know how to communicate. Doesn't matter if he doesn't know how to work as a teammate, right? So there's all these different things that you can break down that I think it sounds like the training camp is absolutely the key to that. So.
Yeah, that's a great comment. Jason Guy says, find the hole in the boat or keep bailing.
Yeah, well, that's in exactly Alabama. Right. It's in Alabama. His team just won. Matter of fact, they've won 2 events back-to-back in D4, 5-man, I believe.
Yeah, it's a great comment. And that's exactly what, Mike and I are both kind of iterating, and, Kyle kind of supported as well. If you're going to your local field with your team, and again, I using air quotes as team, because really, to me, if you're a team is a group of people that are like-minded with similar goals, similar effort, that are going to go do whatever it is they're going to do to get to whatever the goal is to be, right?
Yeah.
So if we're saying we're a team, we got to have some sort of goal in mind, and then we have to have some sort of roadmap to follow. And if we're just going out there and we're grinding gears and playing point after point after point with no intention, you're just playing recreational paintball on airball bunkers.
Yeah. And I think that this is going to be, once absorbed correctly, this will be the new system, right? And I think it's going to take a little bit to everybody to fully involve. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love playing paintball. I love playing paintball points. It's the funnest thing in the world. I enjoy it more than anything. But I truly believe that one of my personal powers that allowed me to get to where I am in paintball is I fell in love with doing the hard stuff in paintball. I fell in love with training until I puked. I fell in love with snapping 1,000 snapshots and making sure I was accurate. I fell in love with these styles of drills. And that's one thing that I'm going to give it to the professionals, because it was like this before I even showed up. They do well, right? There's different levels of intensity, but like, you know, when you're down and we've asked you to do a drill and you're underperforming at the drill, you're not getting ridiculed by your buddies. You're not getting put down. You have a coach in your ear being a coach saying, you can do this, man. Push through. You will hit this shot. Get through the process. You know, as soon as you accomplish this, you will know from today going forward, you are always capable of doing this. And we know you can do this. I know that you can achieve this. Go after it.
I love the fact that you brought that up, Kyle, because one of the questions I had for you this evening, and it's kind of a tough one, right? And I take your time to think about it, what have you. But from a coaching perspective, what has it taught you? What has this experience taught you? And what can you share with our audience from a coach as a coach? You know, what is coaching to you? That was kind of a 3-part, but
yeah, I'm gonna say, which question do you want to?
Yeah, start with what did you draw most out of it? What did you gain from this person?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah,
for the summer camp, you know, I don't want to have a big ego, and I need to find a good specific thing I can bring up. But I felt like I was kind of built for this from the history that I've gone through, right? Like I trained an organization of 45 people strong that went from D6 to semi-pro in Florida, where I didn't know. That taught me immense amount of stuff. That taught me how to communicate with people correctly. That taught me the differentiation in divisions, the expectations, the difference between being a coach and being an asshole. I don't know if I can swear on this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're past the 8-minute mark. So.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I do it all the time.
But you meant to say jerk.
Yeah, be a jerk, right? From being a coach to being a jerk, right? Like there's a big difference in those two, and how you actually articulate the difference between how people actually retain information, right? And I felt like the summer camp kind of brought all of that together. But the biggest thing that I think the summer camp has showed me more than anything is that if you are a professional, you are a professional in all aspects of your life. It doesn't get turned off. There's a lot of people that fake the professionalism. And when you're at a camp for 5 days straight, morning and night, all throughout the process, you either are or you aren't. And the kids see it, you can't fake it, right? So, and if you do, it's exhausting, right? Like it'd have to kick your butt. But you actually have to be who you represent on the field, off the field. And that not only, I wouldn't say it's something that it's a lesson that I learned from the process, something that really brought to light to me of like, man, I got to make sure that if I am going to be who I said I'm going to be, I'm waking up earlier than these kids and I'm getting a nice little jog and warm up in before they start. Cause that's the person that I want to be. When I finish the day, I'm stretching and I'm actually being ready for the next day. I'm communicating, I'm talking paintball, I'm doing these things. Right. And that's the person that I wanted to represent. Right. Each person is different, but it's the summer camp being all those days, day and night. That's the one lesson it really brought to me is like, you see who the person is off the field. And I got to identify who I want to be off the field around paintball players.
What a great answer. I'm proud. First of all, I just want to say I'm proud of you. That was a great answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was very, very cool. Okay, so that's what you took away. Has it given you an appreciation for coaching in a way that you didn't think was there before?
Coach, I think I've told you this before. Like, I think I'll be a better coach than I'm a player once I'm off the field. I love coaching.
I think you're a great coach already. I do
too.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, and this isn't gas, but I'm gonna give. Me. If I can give a guy gas, I want to. Yeah. Pavel and I were talking. I told him you were coming on. Pavel Karslev. I told him you were coming on the show tonight, and right away we kind of started talking about sort of you as a mentor and some of the things you did here in Florida, and like we both kind of got to this very quick conclusion that like when it's time for Kyle Berry to hang it up, he's going to be a great coach, because you're already a really good coach already. And you have the one thing that Mike and I talk about regularly, which is you have the spirit of service. Like, you want to be of
Yes.
service to the community. You want to serve others. And you do that in your regular life too, with your job, right? Like, your whole career is kind of built around helping people. So you already have this really servant mentality. And when it is time for you to hang it up, yeah, you're going to be a great coach.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I wish I was skinnier and more athletic and didn't have the genes of a fat kid, right? 2 weeks of me not eating right, and I go right back to like gaining 15 pounds, right? So I wish I was like the size of, Carter Donaldson, or had, the speed of Keith Brown. I'm trying to get there, and I definitely am, but I definitely want to leave my mark on the world as a player before I step away. But Coach, give me your original question again so I can actually answer it.
Well, you've already answered both the first two, and the third one was just kind of an overall. I just kind of meshed them both together and decided, no, we'll break it down into the one. So you've done a great job on both fronts. So
sweet. Yeah. But in short, man, it's, I think the professors really get a chance to give everything they have in the support of growing paintball. Right. Even like, Connor Kelly and Joe Barrett. I don't want to speak for Joe, but I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out there because this was his first year. Right. And he didn't get the chance to hop on because flights out of Boston were insane. But Joe got to be able to be the person that is supportive to his players on the field and very direct and determined. And if you guys ever heard Joe Barrett talk before, he is confident about the things he's confident in. He doesn't talk about the stuff he doesn't know, period.
Bingo.
He's very confident when he's doing the breakout drills and he's helping kids. He's very, very confident. And then you see outside of that, just the love of life that man has from his life of paintball, but because the way he gets to live with paintball, how much he enjoys life, how much he's just so happy. And the kids got to see that. And I think the kids seeing that from a player that, is playing pro, doing what they're aspiring to do, and just loving his life is such a beam of positive light for all these young players. Because, if it was there, Connor Kelly is the same way. Just 22 years old, a ball of energy, a ball of excitement, loving every part of what he's doing. And it's like all of us, we don't make $1 million off paintball. None of us do. Right. We all have full-time jobs. Some of us have families. We have a lot of things we have to take care of. And it's all additional stuff to being at paintball and doing paintball. But the paintball itself gives us that freedom to be a kid again, the freedom to like love our life and enjoy it. And it comforts all parts of our life. There's nothing that we would rather be doing than playing paintball. And when you get to the level of, yes, I want to help the sport grow, and then you become a professor, it's the best thing in the world because you are just so hands-on with these players and allowing them to take education on the field and off the field. Do we have kids at 10 o'clock at night before the lights go out walking up to us and going, hey, Kyle, do you remember this point where this happened? I have this video. What should I have done here? And we're able to actually sit down with them and be like, man, sometimes there's an answer, sometimes there's not. And being able to help them not just be good players, but good people in the sport of paintball. And I think that's what we need for the longevity and the growth of the sport.
Well, not to blow sunshine up your bahukas, but Mark Token B says Kyle is the best hashtag BM United coach. And then Killers Paintball. This is one I thought was interesting.
Same. I was going to say great man in the chat telling you things.
That's right. Kyle was a mentor to me the moment he met me and helped me fulfill my paintball dream of becoming a professional. Signed, Husky.
Thanks, Husky. Much love, buddy. Much love.
So for those, that's Ryan Hoskinson of Chicago Aftershock.
That's right. Andrew Ormsby. It was Benjamin Franklin. And he said, just to clarify, so Andrew posted and he says, you hear, you forget, you see, you remember, you do, you understand. And the quote is actually, tell me, I'll forget. Show me, I'll remember. Act, and I will understand. So that was Benjamin Franklin. That's what, throw that out there.
And you get all three at the summer camp, right?
There it is.
I saw kids leave with filled notebooks from the weekend.
I was going to say one of the things you touched on earlier that I thought was really important, and I made note of it, is you kind of went through 4 or 5 different things where you were kind of naming off all of the things that you kind of had to do in order to like not only place the kids where they needed to go, or people, the players where they needed to be, but also to kind of understand how they learned. You kind of touched on 3 or 4 things there. So you have to do that like in 5 days. You have to do that pretty fast. Mike and I were really blessed that we get, a lot of time with teams throughout a season, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, where we're kind of developing and cultivating and curating that relationship where we understand like, okay, this one kind of learns like this one kind of learns like, how do you do that so quickly? Do you guys have um, like what kind of tools are you using to try to figure that out? Do you give them like a verbal example? Do you then show them how to do it? And then later you're touching it again with video?
Yes, and there's a differentiation. So let me explain. So like I
Okay.
know I'm doing it differently than Nick, right? So Nick's here in the comments. Nick's very verbal, right? And Nick can articulate very well and he can explain things, but he also is, we all as professors, no matter what it is, like the running gunning drill, right? Every single time I verbalized it and explained it, I personally showed it of how it's supposed to be done, and then showed a little variation with using Connor Kelly so that you can see that there's a little bit of a differentiation. And then the way that I go through the process is that when there's an error, I blatantly speak out the error and I just say, hey, here's the problem, not in an angry way, not in an aggressive way, but just saying, this is what my expectations are of you. And I'm a little bit different for heat 3 of the lower guys and heat 1 of the bigger guys, right? But the biggest thing is how they actually push through and persevere. Do I see them wanting to quit, which means I need to pull them off and motivate them, and they need that communication? Do I see they want to fight through, but they don't have the, let's say, the breathing techniques and the mental fortitude to understand how to quiet their body and their mind to accomplish, which means instead of pulling them to the side, I keep them in this scenario and I calm them down and I make sure they go through it. But they're in my opinion, I think all the professionals believe the same thing. You need all 3. You need to be able to hear it, see it, and then physically do it yourself. And then the real thing that changes for each individual is how do you act when it's the toughest for you? And to be totally transparent, right? And I don't know if there's probably a lot of kids in here that went on the camp. It's the reason we run in the morning. We don't run because I'm a mean guy. We run in the morning because every sport runs you for the same reason. We run so that your brain is more malleable to be changed, adjusted, and for information. We run so that when you have to do something, no matter what, it is kind of difficult because you've already been some level of gas. We run you so that you can become better, because if you're at your 100% and then get it right the first time and then you think you're the champ, right? It doesn't mean you're going to be able to accomplish that when you're actually 3-4 matches in, or you're on Sunday in the finals and when the time really matters. So the running is more of a psychological play than it is a physical play. Obviously, physically they have to do it, but psychologically it's what affects our ability to coach you as coaches, right? And it starts from the warm-up. How hard are you running in the warm-up? When I do a competitive sprinting drill, how hard are you trying, right? Are you the type of person that needs motivation in your life to try harder? Or are you the type of person that's going to try as hard as you can, but you need to slow down and you need someone to tell you to breathe and give you guidance of how to do it correctly, right? And I think it starts right off from the beginning. But, I'm going to stand by the whole token of like, you want to be great, do hard stuff, right? Just do difficult things.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. We were running drills yesterday morning. Like normally Saturday, Sunday, we do team training. We did a test on Saturday and it wasn't where I thought it should be, as it related to where I thought everybody needed to be against the KPI. So we ended up doing drills yesterday morning. And about an hour into the drills, one of the guys was like, man, I'm starting to get a little gassed. And I was like, great, now we'll get real data. Because everything we'd done up to the point where they weren't tired, like if you're not tired yet, then the data I'm getting is not real.
Right.
It's not real yet. It's not real until you're a little gassed, right? Then it's real, because exactly what you said, Kyle, is the data I'm looking for. What's it going to look like midday Sunday? What's it going to look like end of day Sunday? I want to know what that metric is. And that's where the real data comes in.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Dimitri.
Oh, Dimitri's in the chat.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd love him to come to the camp. I think he'd be an awesome BKi
Oh,
professor.
I bet you
So
Ninos
good.
would be a great professor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good.
Absolutely. So, well, awesome. This is great. This has been fantastic. Hey, if you have got some questions in the chat for Kyle, let us know. Post them up real quick. Otherwise, I think it sounds like the BKi Summer Camp, now which referred to by me as the BKi Training Camp, is hits way above its weight class when it comes to value and what you get out of it. So you've got 6 different professional coaches out there. You got incredible food. You got incredible environment. It's immersive. It's 5 days, 40 hours of nonstop paintball, which only focus is to make you better.
And what's it cost?
I don't know. I got to check that number. I think it's like north of 1,500 for the whole thing. Yeah.
For 4 days?
For basically 5 days of the whole thing, right? So
Jeez.
yeah, Nick, if you know the price, throw it in there because I'm not quite sure what it is.
Hang on.
That's a great question.
That's a great question. So Dimitri Ninos says, Kyle, you're about to enter your 4th event with Dynasty. How do you think you've grown since joining, and where do you want that growth to take you? Oof. Oof.
Damn, Meter.
Meter with the fire.
Hold on one second. Lost my headphones. Okay. It's a really good question. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yep. Sweet. The growth is definitely in a psychological position, right? It's very difficult to go from a team where I played every single point and I called the plays and kind of called the lines and was player coaching while I was going about it, and to a team where I am trying to earn playing time against the best players in the world, right? Ryan said it the best at the last event, where it's like, dude, you gotta remember you're not on the Kings anymore. These are the best players in the world you're trying to get playing time from. The growth in my mind, I think, is coming from, if this was the same scenario, like what happened to me on Damage in 2015, when I didn't get playing time, I was doing spin class after CrossFit. I was hurting my body. I was destroying my mind. I was in a level of depression because I wasn't getting playing time, and it was eating at me physically, mentally, across the board. Now it's I am growing mentally. I'm taking in all the little nitbits from Alex, making sure I understand when to bunker and that I should bunker him as soon as he gets close. From Yosh to understanding that you need to be calm and you need to be collective, and things might not go the way you planned, but you need to be prepared for that and in your own self. To Ryan, where do things confidently and without hesitation, go after it, go to win every single point. That these little just golden nuggets of some of the most intellectual and good people, right? Like I keep asking, people ask me, how do you like Dynasty? It's like, that saying, don't meet your idols, you'll be disappointed. I wasn't, right? They're just golden nuggets of information that are being pulled in. And I'm still trying to find myself a little bit. But the real growth is coming from, like, I'm around the right people. Don't slow down. And just keep learning and educating and growing with myself, and making sure that I continue to do what I'm doing. Like, Coach, I tell you after every event, like, I hope I'm not being annoying, but Coach is over there coaching and I'm over there right next to the same guy. Like, hey, the guy that you're running against is always playing high, or the dude is shooting on a knee, or his first engagement's always dropping low, right? And just trying to help the team win without being on the field, right? So,
being a great teammate, being a great teammate, helping me and Junior in so many different ways, helping your teammates. And when you're given the opportunities, right, taking the big swing. I love it. That's such a great attitude. And that's something that's not talked about enough in paintball. It's just not.
It's a team sport, man. There's a difference. I've said this to a lot of my recent teams. Like, I want to be on a team. I don't want to be on a family. I can tell my cousin to go F himself and we're still family no matter what, right? He can do bad in his life. It doesn't affect me, right? I got some degenerates in my family and it doesn't affect my life. My team affects me. If you're on my team and you do bad, I do bad. right? I need you to do good. And if I have to pick you up and carry you across the starting line so you do good, that's what needs to take so that we can do it together. And that's what a team is, right? And there's a difference. Yeah. And then Meter, where do you want it? Where do you want the growth to take you? I'm here to make sure that I don't ever want to leave Dynasty. I've wanted to play on Dynasty since I was 13 years old. I started my company and made my own money so that I can decide what I do with my life. And what I want to do is make sure that the Dynasty legacy never, ever dies. I love the team since before I was on it. I will love the team for the rest of my life. And I think the ambiance, energy, attitude that they have created as a group of individuals that came into the sport needs to transcend across the entire organization of paintball. And it needs to continue to survive and grow. And to be totally honest, like, you know, the three horsemen are getting old, dude. And I wish they would play forever. But like Alex, Ryan, and Yosh only have so much limited time. And that all the data of those guys need to get pulled out and put into the next generation or it's going to fade away. And I never want that light to fade away. So I want my growth to get to a point where Dynasty can win tournaments without Yosh, Alex, and Ryan on the field, right? Where me, Harrison, and Joey are the ones that are taking what they taught us, and Arturo and Blake and Danny, and we're bringing that information in, and we're winning the tournaments for them to keep the name that they created as still one of the best teams in the world for tomorrow and every day going forward.
Well, the answer absolutely equaled the question.
Yes. I'm just sitting back here just enjoying going, yeah, he's on my team.
Great answer.
He's on my team.
Answer.
Yeah.
So well done. Well played. Excellent.
Sweet. Man, you guys are awesome.
I don't think there was any others.
No,
yeah.
But I think you have a relative in here.
And I think when when Dimitri Meter asked that question, everybody else was like, "Oh, we're good."
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Meter coming with the banger. We're good.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say, you two guys are crushing it, right? The coaches show and getting the in-depth information from intellectual perspectives on the game of paintball is some of the most powerful thing that I think all the listeners here need to understand. That if we would have sought this 10, 15 years ago, like Ryan, you were still doing it. Mike, you were still doing this, but you were siloed. You weren't projected around people. The amount of information that comes from the intellectual players, if you go through the pro bracket, the one common denominator across, I would say 95% of pros is they're highly intellect. They are not, they are not linesmen, right? They're not these type of other professional sport players that you see that just aren't very intellectual. Sometimes they can't articulate it yet, but if you get to sit down with these people, you'll find that every single one of them has this edge in their mind that you can't find in general populace. So the fact that you guys are putting this information out and sharing this with the world is incredible. I hope you guys dive deep. I hope you share all the information. I hope you especially as you move, throughout the timeline of this, you continue to highlight more and more things that allows all the players listening to support. And last thing I'll say to the listeners, because you guys have built a good following, love paintball, show the love for paintball. Don't hate on it online. Our PR is shit. We are not ever going to get the investor that we're looking for to make paintball the what it is if we do not have positive recognition on social platforms. Love the game, promote the game, talk about it whenever you can, but talk about it in a positive life.
Be responsible.
Be responsible.
I say it every show. In fact, was it the last show that I scolded everyone, or the one before?
It was the one before. No, it was last show. I think it was both. I think you scolded both.
Yeah, dude. So like it was right after the BBC thing came out overseas. And Ainsley had posted that really, it was a great article about paintball and, trying to kind of push into the Olympic Committee. And it was a great article. And people in paintball they just shit all over it. Right. Yeah. And they don't paintball people don't understand that anytime your sport is being looked at for a television deal, Olympic thing, whatever the case may be, you go through what's called an audit, and they go look at all the major players' social medias. They go look at the league's social media, and they audit it. They want to see is this worth our investment? And if they look at ours, they're gonna bail out. They're gonna no thanks. We don't want to be a part of this chaos. We don't want to be a part of this nonsense. And it like all the time I hear people say, well, like we need to get better. We need to get better. I agree. When we're talking about things with the league that people may be frustrated about, whatever, we do need to get better. But part of us getting better is being financed in a way that we can hire enough people to really make it operate meaningfully. Because right now it doesn't. I mean, we operate with like 3 to 4 full-time employees who are literally worked to death. I mean, they're working 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, most of them, and they're not paid real well. Like if we want somebody who can really help us get, help Tom get this thing to the next level, we gotta have money. We gotta have money. And if we can't get money because we're standing in our own way all the time, then we're never going to get past where we are right now. And those things that you want to change are never going to change. So
Another fire answer.
Yeah. And just to let you know that money comes from people thinking that if they invest in the sport, they're doing it to invest into good people. And
I'm being 100%, but I'm being dead serious.
Oh.
Everything you just said, Ryan, we should take that clip and we should play it over and over again, because that is so important right now. I don't think people recognize the amount of hard work that does go into it, the microscope we're under, the opportunities that are coming and going, right? And we're eating our own. And I think we need to clip that. We need to clip everything you just said, and we need to go ahead and we need to put that on social media.
We have guys like Dave Painter that love paintball so much that he's retired and doesn't get paid to do all the things that he does. He just loves it. He just loves it. So he does it. And he has like come up with some brilliant plans and ideas that are helping to push this thing forward. And the dude, like, he gets paid when he's at the event. That's kind of it. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's
Dave's
working.
a great dude.
Yeah, he's working all the time trying to help the league. So it takes
There's
everybody. But all you have to do is not be a keyboard warrior. And if you see something that you don't necessarily agree with, just shut up.
Well, listen,
Or articulate it in a way that it's not insulting.
But that's the problem. Somebody usually who is a keyboard warrior doesn't have the skills or doesn't understand how to use ChatGTP.
Dude, listen, in my opinion, you can be a keyboard warrior. Just pick a fucking pick a team to play on and play on our team. Play on the team of paintball, right? Be a keyboard warrior for paintball, not against it.
Right.
Yeah.
You go on to the other sports social and say you should be playing paintball. This looks dumb. Baseball's got to change their rules 6 different times so people show up for the games. We're still out here shooting people with paintball guns, and we love it every weekend, right? Your sport costs nothing. Well, I'll gladly pay $150 a weekend to play my sport instead of yours. Just to let you know, every time you undermine paintball, you are undermining yourself if you're a part of this community. Love the sport, represent the sport, be on our team to promote paintball and be teammates so that we all grow together.
Yeah,
you know what's
people
interesting
just want to
is
watch the world burn.
I have access to PB leagues on the back end. I can go in and see like if you played an event and when you played it. I will go on to some of these posts like that people make on, and I don't like, I'm rarely on social media because I hate all the negative nonsense and the politics and all that. So I just stay off, right? It's better for my mental health and it makes me want to kill people less. So I just stay away, right? Well, like when I know the league is going to like put something out that's like an announcement, and I will say this, the league doesn't communicate well. Right. I've said it for the last 5 years and I'll continue to say it. But a big part of the messaging issues that Major League Paintball has is we don't have a PR person. Like we don't have somebody who's there to say, hey, we shouldn't say it like that. Let's say it like this. And again, I think ChatGTP could be their friend as well. But I can go in and see, like if somebody posts something, I can go put their name in and I can see the last time they played a tournament. Sometimes the people who are saying things have never played in the NXL ever. As long as PB Access and PB Leagues have been around, they've never played an event ever, and they're the ones being the loudest. They'll make 5 negative comments and comment on other people's comments, and they have not played an event.
No experience.
It just amazes me. They're like fans who are the worst kind of fans.
Yeah. But this is the biggest thing. And I'm listen, I've studied all these algorithms. My job, my business, the company that I own is based off understanding how to use these social platforms correctly. The posting of the negative people would be a positive to us if there was a positive response. It supports the algorithm. It gets more views, more recognition. You know, everything that's ever blown up, look at the comment section. There's a bunch of comments to it. Every asset that's ever blown up on social media has a huge comment section. If we as a community decided, like I've been pitching this idea to MLPB or Go Sports or wherever we call it now, that we should just have a single video that runs at top of funnel all the time. And it is a 2-minute clip of every professional paintball player saying the same exact thing, recording in the same position. I'm a professional paintball player. I love this sport. You should come play paintball. Something along those lines. And it just shows half a second clip of every player, of every one of us saying this. Every single player in the pro division, guys, loves what they do. Right. Most of us, if Ryan Greenspan's talents was put towards any other industry, he would have made a lot more money than what he does at paintball. Right.
Agreed.
We do this because we love it. We do it because we love you guys that play paintball. We love the industry. We love the sport. We love all of it. We need to make sure that even when the negativity hits, that we understand that we have a voice and the voice needs to be positive. We want this sport to blow up the way it should. And right now is the most pivotal time. When we have ESPN this weekend, we will be the first time live. We will have clips afterwards that will be on ESPN. We will have a little bit of promotion that flows off of it. We need the community to band together and just be positive. Let's just run a test for our sake. 30 days. Let's just try to be nice, okay? And see what happens out there, right?
Yeah,
you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed what we can do. And the only way this sport blows up is by us. Tom ain't gonna do it. Tom's doing everything he possibly can right now. He is crushing it in his means, but he's only got 2 hands and 1 mouth, man. There's thousands of us, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of paintball players. Right? I don't know the actual number of competitive players, but it's up there, man.
17,000
in the U.S.
17,000 players, tournament players.
Well, first of all, it's way too damn low, right? Way too damn.
You know how long
low.
it's been 17,000? It's since like 2000.
If you look at Google Correlate will show you the data of how much a term has been looked up on Google. Our spike was in 2005. Why? Yeah. Because in 2005, you guys weren't down talking paintball. We were on Huntington Beach. We were doing this. We were doing that. And everyone thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now, what do? We live in the past and compare it to Huntington Beach. We compare it to this and we compare it to that. And we compare. Yes, paintball has gone through its ups and downs. Yes, it's had difficulties. It survived through it all. You still get tournaments this play. You still get the coolest marker you've ever seen in your entire life coming out every 2 years that we get to play around with, right? You still get this community that you get to be involved in. Speak positively around it. Love it, promote it, enjoy it, and make sure that when you do see that negative comment, don't just laugh at it. Don't just ignore it. Post your own comment afterwards. Respond positively. Move it forward in a way that will help grow the sport.
Let's end right there. Yeah, let's end it right there. That's perfect.
Right perfect. Love it. Kyle, we can't thank you enough for joining us this evening. You've been a fantastic guest. Sorry, Joe Barrett couldn't join us. Joe, we'll take a rain check, man. But, man, hey, I'll see you in a couple of days down in Florida.
I was just about to say, I'll see both of you in just a few days. And just because Joe's not here, we'll still give him a plug. So if you have an opportunity, go check out the Paintball Passport. That's right. Joe Barrett's podcast, where he brings in players and they talk about travel. And, one of the coolest things we get to do in this thing is travel the world. When I was playing, I got to play paintball on 3 different continents. Won tournaments where I literally got to play a bunker that was 8 feet from the Mediterranean Ocean. Like, travel is a big part of what we get to do in this. In fact, it's one of the biggest gifts we get outside of the community and the people that we get to cultivate these amazing relationships with is the travel. So check out Paintball Passport. Yeah, that's right. Paintball Passport.
And if you're in the business world, if you guys want to check out my podcast, it's Art of Kaizen for Entrepreneurs. I don't talk about it much in the paintball world, but if you're in the business side and you care about business, that's the only other thing. Like as Ryan, as you said earlier, I am trying to help in all aspects. I started this company so I could learn how to grow paintball. My goal is to take it from Tom Cole one day and own this whole damn thing and do what Dana White did to the UFC to paintball. It's my lifelong goal. And any way that we can work together to make it a better sport, I would love to have the conversation, right? I truly want to see this be the biggest sport in the world.
Love it.
And where can people find that information?
The Art of Kaizen for Entrepreneurs is on YouTube. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the regular Castbox, all of them. I use Buzzsprouts. I just put a bunch of interviews out there where I'm talking to people about how they grow business and trying to give advice to anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur and wants to get freedom in the US of how to do it correctly and how to make the most money doing it.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Love it.
I love it.
Thank you, pal.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys are crushing it. I appreciate you having me on here. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Have a blessed evening. I love it. I love it. All right. There you go. Okay.
What a fun show.
It was good. And listen, so obviously the BKi Summer Camp is incredible. And listen, I think this was a giant commercial for it. It was absolutely fantastic because we're always talking about the process. Well, that's certainly you're getting an injection of the process there. So I think that's fantastic. It's great. And I couldn't be happier about that interview. And of course, you know, I know Kyle's passionate. Kyle and I have become friends pretty close, and he's helped me tremendously on a lot of my own stuff outside the net. And I got to tell you, you know, I haven't seen him that passionate in a while, and it's good to see it. It's good to see it. So
Yeah, I loved his answer to Meter's question. That was
yes, me too.
really, really good. Because like you and I kind of talked about this even in the off season after you guys picked Kyle up, you know, and one of the questions I asked you is like, where does he fit into your roster? Like who do you see at some point you're going to play Kyle Berry over right? And I know some of that's layout dependent and job oriented and those kind of things. Kyle's a great player. When you look at these top four teams, like they're all monsters, right? Like and Kyle is certainly a great player in his own right. It's just one of those, like when you're building out a team, you're building out a roster. That's one of the first things that comes to my head when we start talking about we're looking at this player. Okay, great. Where do you put him? You know what I mean? Who's not gonna have an opportunity so this person can get in? And I think Kyle's kind of found his place. You know, where he understands it's going to be a battle and he's going to earn his opportunities. And I love that attitude.
Yeah.
And I didn't really expect anything different from it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, he and I have had several conversations. So one of the toughest things I do after every event is I send out an individual email to the guys and I talk to them about certain things. And it's a difficult process, but it's not always easy. So, I mean, I'll never forget the first time I wrote the one to Ryan Greenspan. Okay, what do you tell Ryan Greenspan? But Kyle, what I love about Kyle is that exact attitude, because I knew where he came from. I'd heard that story where he'd come from. I was this type of kid. I was disrespected. And I worked hard and then I started leading this. And now I'm here at Dynasty, and now I'm having to work hard again. But it's nothing new to him. It's because he's been through that. He does. And it's not how many times, what did Rocky say? What did Balboa say? It's not how many times you get knocked down or how hard you get hit. It's getting back up. And I think that's kind of what he's doing right now. He's going to find his way. I told him, I said, Kyle Berry's going to be a starter on this team before you know it. So yeah, with the work ethic he's got, I don't see why it can't happen.
Yeah. We talk about attitude and effort all the time. And Kyle's got, he's got tons of both. So
he's got it in spades, as we like to
some
say.
great character, right?
Yep.
And that's like maybe the most important part, He's got great character. So all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on this episode of the Coaches Show. Thank you to Kyle Berry for joining us, and thank you to BKi and Maxt. Thank you to Major League Paintball, Major League Paintball Plus, Tom Cole, Alex Sorensen, Kevin Fillers, Darren Cessna. Really appreciate you all. For Mike Bianca, I'm Ryan Gray. As always, please be responsible.